first off create a super fun arcade game, but also just to introduce some of the more fundamental computer science concepts like control flow with for loops, with while loops, why we might want to use variables over just hard coding values. And now that we have this really solid foundation, with our next project, we're going to bridge over into object-oriented programming.
In setup, we set the size of the screen. This updates the ball position. These if statements check if the ball is colliding, and if it does, then it executes this code, which will invert the x velocity by multiplying it by -1, which will just make it go the other way. This ellipse function renders the ball. These if statements move the paddle position based on move up and move down, which are booleans that we created. This is the acid rain project.
We have background music. When you run out of lives, there's a buzzer sound that plays, and every time you catch a raindrop in your bucket, there's a little water plop sound.
In the top right, we keep track of score, and when we run out of lives, game over. One thing that was cool before, we always had two variables to keep track of the position, like the x and the y, but then there was a vector data type that we started using that stored two values, and you could access like position.x and position.y.
Everything is a problem, because I think the core of computer science is solving problems. And so the first problem is we have no code in our project and nothing interesting happens. And so the first problem that we have to solve is like, what is the game that we're going to create? And then we start setting goals. We didn't like the aesthetic of the game at first, and so we went back and we tried to make it look a little more interesting. We designed and redesigned our program until those goals are met.